Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be talking about Ghost Adventures and specifically Aaron Goodwin. I never expected to cover Ghost Adventures on the channel or anywhere on my social media, really. Now, if you don't know what Ghost Adventures is, it's like a show about the paranormal, spirits and all of that. They do like paranormal investigations. They go to haunted locations. They use a bunch of gadgets to see if they can find any evidence of the paranormal. It's really fun. It's really silly. Also because I remember when I found this show, it was like a decade ago and Jacob and I had just started dating and he introduced me to it. And I loved the concept of basically just a group of bros in a house, not being presumptuous about like, let me talk to the spirits, but they were like, dude, what the fuck? And they were just like very normal human people, as opposed to, I feel like a lot of those paranormal shows give themselves, I don't know, they put on too many airs for me and I'm just like, okay, calm down. You're talking to things you can't see. It's not that deep. Before we get into the video, I did want to give credit to Tattooed Traveler. I follow her on Instagram and on TikTok. I'll link her TikTok down below, but that's how I found out about this. So strongly advise following. Aaron Goodwin, he's part of the crew. So this is the Ghost Adventures crew that's run by Zach Bagans. He's basically the main character. Then there's Aaron Goodwin and there's the rest of the crew. Not going to go into super detail because that's not relevant to this. Ghost Adventures star Aaron Goodwin's wife arrested for allegedly hiring a hitman to kill him. So one of the guys whose job was to hunt ghosts, he married his wife. She hired a hitman to kill him. This all feels extremely surreal just because so many of the times when you read the news, of course there are famous people who come up in the news, but so many times when there are tragic events that happen or events that almost happen like this, it's people that you don't know and you haven't seen on screen for crazy amounts of time. Maybe it's because I watched Ghost Adventures for the better part of a decade and I watched a lot of episodes over, so it feels surreal that this would happen to him. I know that's a silly point to make. You've seen so much of them that you're like, really? This happened to them of all people? This basically just shows that crime does not discriminate. Ghost Adventures star Aaron Goodwin's wife allegedly was nabbed by police trying to pay a hitman to kill her husband in a chilling murder for hire plot. Victoria Goodwin, 32, was arrested and charged last week for solicitation to commit murder and conspiracy to murder after an investigation allegedly unearthed her sinister plot, according to a police report obtained by TMZ. The wife of the TV paranormal investigator had allegedly been messaging an inmate at an undisclosed Florida prison since October 2024, openly expressing wanting to kill Goodwin to get out of her marriage. Now, I'm going to put a little preface here. I don't know Aaron Goodwin, so I can't say if he's a good person, a bad person, blah, 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 and I don't believe in any of that weird parasocial shit. Obviously, he's always come off as a funny guy and a nice guy on the show. Does that mean he's like that outside of the show? No. That being said, if you want to leave a marriage, I think it is so highly insane to me that what you would do to get out of that marriage as opposed to a divorce, an annulment, whatever pertains to your particular case, you would jump to murder. Like, arguably, that is the hardest thing to pull off, and that's what you're choosing to do. Putting aside any moral repercussions, because if you're already considering murder, I think we've lost you. The sole concept of that being the route she took is crazy to me. Now, granted, we don't know everything that happened inside of this situation, right? Maybe she tried other things. Maybe they tried counseling and it didn't work. But the fact still remains, I feel like it's easier for one of you to move out and for you guys to file paperwork than it is for you to message an inmate in prison and figure out a way to kill your husband without it coming back to you, but also getting a payment to the inmate and also hoping the inmate doesn't tell anyone. I don't get it. And again, in this, I'm barely ever going to reference morality because I think we are beyond that once someone considers murdering their partner. So let's forget that because that's not happening here. Morality is nowhere to be seen. No, she's not here. Am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence, not divorce? Police cited Victoria texting the inmate. Am I a bad person because I'm choosing to murder my husband instead of divorce? Yeah, you're a bad person. I don't even know how that's a rhetorical question for you. You really gotta ask someone if you're a bad person for wanting to murder your husband? That's a question you want an answer to? Like, do you really think someone's gonna be like, no, you're a really good person. You still have a good, pure heart, even though you want to murder the person you chose to allegedly spend the rest of your life with? Honestly, I do think there are things missing here that we don't know, and obviously there are only so many things that they're actually going to tell the public. But from what we have right now, she just looks incredibly guilty. And the other thing is, I was trying to think, okay, was Victoria Goodwin put in a position where she felt like she had no other way out? Like, was she being abused? Was something happening, something that causes you to go into fight or flight, where it's a Gypsy Rose situation where you kind of gotta kill someone or you're gonna get killed, like a self-defense type thing? If that were the case, I feel like she would have said it immediately when she was arrested to be like, hey, I was being abused. Hey, I was being harassed. Hey, whatever the case may be. That was never said. So what I'm thinking is their problems were not there. Whatever other problems they had, I'm not belittling, but I'm saying, as far as we know, that wasn't happening. And that is really the only situation where I can see that, not that you'd hire someone to kill your husband, but a self-defense thing might occur. But again, that's a different situation. So really, I can't really conceptualize where I'd say, yes, it makes sense that you'd hire a hitman. She allegedly offered $11,515, very random, to pay for the job and passed along info about her husband's location to the inmate to provide to a hitman he was communicating with to pull off the kill. The 48-year-old paranormal investigator was allegedly filming Ghost Adventures in California when the hit was meant to go down. He's asleep right now in the hotel room. I need to know what's going on. Can I get an update? Was it done? The inmate texted the hitman, according to police. It's unclear what happened with the hitman, but police claim that Victoria made a down payment of $2,500 to have her ghost hunting husband killed. Cops said the alleged murder for hire plot was only discovered after corrections officers confiscated the Florida inmate's phone as contraband, TMZ reported, citing law enforcement. Victoria has denied ever wanting to have her husband killed, according to the report. Well, of course, you're not going to straight up say, the hitman, that was me. Why? Like, obviously, she's not going to say that. And I'm pretty sure any lawyer would tell her to just not comment on anything. So, unsurprisingly, things get really fucky and weird at some point here. Arguably, they have been since the get-go, but they get particularly stupid here. She allegedly told investigators that she was only daydreaming or fantasizing about being without her husband, and that she didn't recall sending the messages about the twisted murder for hire plot. Just casually don't remember. Murder, hitmen, wiring money? Don't remember any of that. How convenient. Victoria allegedly admitted she and Goodwin were going through marital problems, but told police she did not want to have him murdered. When asked about the messages regarding money for the hit with the inmate, she told police that she thought it was for a cell phone, TMZ reported. So you gave thousands of dollars for what you thought was going to be for a cell phone? Can someone explain that to me? Like I'm 5 in the comments, because the math isn't mathing there. Of all the things, honestly, this is why, if you are ever, I'm hoping that none of you watching are criminals or murderers or hiring hitmen, but if ever you find yourself in a very weird and difficult to explain situation, do not talk to anyone but a lawyer. Truly don't. Just don't. Because here, I'm not going to defend her because I think this is all extremely, extremely suspicious, and I don't think there's any explanation that can explain away a hitman. But it's so easy to take things out of context or to warp things, right? In this particular case, though, I just don't think that's possible. How do you warp things about paying someone to kill someone? I don't know, which is again why I'm kind of confused why she told the police any of this I don't know if she did it without a lawyer present, but based on the types of statements she's making, if she had a lawyer, this is not a great lawyer, because this makes her come off as insane and a liar and stupid and also close to murderer. A murderer by proxy, maybe. A Victoria Lynn Goodwin was arrested in Nevada on March 6th for solicitation to commit murder and a conspiracy to commit murder, and is being held on a $100,000 bail, according to Clark County jail records. She is set to make her initial court appearance Tuesday morning, according to court records. The Post has contacted the Clark County's District Attorney's Office for comment. Goodwin was allegedly blindsided and devastated at this turn of events and thought he was in a happy marriage, sources told TMZ. The couple tied the knot at Disneyland's Haunted Mansion in California in August of 2022 and live in Las Vegas. The paranormal cameraman is best known for his role alongside paranormal investigator Zach Bagans on Ghost Adventures. So this is where confusion comes in for me because, like I said before, we don't know all the details. There could have been counseling, there could have been whatever else to try and fix the issues. That being said, unless Aaron Goodwin here is lying, the fact that he says he's blindsided and devastated at this turn of events and that he thought he was in a happy marriage, to me indicates that there was no communication and that there was no actual conversations about any potential hardships on either end of this, which seems to be basically all on her end. So I'm confused as to how we get to murder. And that's why it's hard for me to give a benefit of the doubt here, because if we believe what Aaron Goodwin said, which tendentially I do believe because he's not the one who tried to get a hit out on his wife, then it's like, okay, so you didn't even confront the potential issues at hand. You didn't try to fix the issues at hand, and your first reaction was instead to hire a hitman? How does that make sense, first of all? And how do you expect anyone to believe you when you immediately resorted to this extreme, quote-unquote solution, if you want to call it that, which is I think what she'd call it. Bagans told TMZ it's an emotional time for his ghost hunting co-star, and he's trying to give him love and support. The two have been friends since Goodwin of Oregon and Bagans of Illinois moved to Nevada around the same time in 2005 to pursue filmmaking. They have worked on Ghost Adventures since it premiered in 2008. Honestly, there's not really much more to be said. I find all of this entirely suspicious. I don't believe anything she's saying because honestly, the transaction with an inmate in and of itself says a lot, let alone her speaking to an inmate while she was still married already is strange. Unless you're related to that inmate or you know them or whatever, what reason would you have to contact an unknown inmate for what? So already I think that's a little bit shady in and of itself. Let alone the financial transaction, which in and of itself, money pays for goods and services. I doubt she was just giving this random inmate a gift of however many $1,000s it was. So again, nothing here really backs up anything that would point towards any kind of innocence on her part. And that's also what confuses me. Why is her lawyer letting her say any of these things, right? Why was she talking to the cops without a lawyer? Or with a shitty lawyer who just is letting her say whatever, because all of this really just looks terrible, and it really does make her look guilty, which I think she is, but this certainly is not helping her case. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on this because truly this is absolutely crazy. You guys can let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons as always, and I'll catch you guys next time.